We are so back. All of the things are working out better than you could have possibly imagined. The Donald is dropping absolute nukes. We have Iranians taking each other out, basically because Donald Trump wants peace, and then the Islamic regime wants to kill themselves, and then the other part of the Islamic regime wants to not kill themselves. So the people that don't want to kill themselves are killing the people that do want to kill themselves. It's a pretty diabolical situation over there. Meanwhile, you got Islamic crash outs everywhere now that people are realizing, holy crap, this is an entire ideology that is kind of hell-bent on our destruction. I've kind of noticed a little bit. We got the Foids losing their absolute mind. Daily Wire is coming out with a new movie, and literally some of the funniest meltdowns I think I've ever seen have been happening over there. We got lots to talk about, lots to do. Shoe on head going nuclear. Woke 1 is dead. Woke 2 is here, and Woke 2 is just terrorism. We got lots to do, and I hope you are locked the frick in. My videos are fully demonetized because YouTube is a bitch. Thank you so much for the support regardless. And if you could support me on Patreon, that would be super duper appreciated. Over there, I am uploading 3 to 4 videos a week, including political analyses and moral analyses and Quran analysis. You got to read the enemy's battle manual, if you know what I'm saying. And ultimately, the truth of the matter is, your support is super appreciated. I am live streaming this on Kick and on Rumble. So lock in, boys and girls. We got a crazy ride today. We will exterminate all the aliens. The aliens are having a really bad time today. It's bad for aliens. Xenos and heretics are having the nightmare of their life. Things are really not going their way. All right, Shoe on Head is crashing out. Woke 1 is dead. And Iran is falling apart. No enemy will stop us, says the Donald. They cannot stop us, says the Donald. They won't stand in our way, says the Donald. And you know what? The Donald was cooking. He dropped one of the funniest tweets I think I've ever read in my entire life. I see the representatives of the Islamic Republic of Iran are gay, and they're asking for compensation for the damage done to them during the last 5-month military conflict started because they will not have a nuclear weapon. I hope you understand that we get to decide who has the nuclear weapons or not. Now, some people would say that that's not appropriate because of international law. My response is international law is fake and gay, and we are actually international law. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Even though it was never mentioned in any of our negotiations or meetings, but it is an interesting idea because now I am likewise demanding compensation from Iran for all of the people they have killed and gravely wounded from the roadside bombs in many conflicts for which they are famous, as led initially by General Soleimani. He died like a dog, a beautiful dog, including the families of those killed on the USS Cole and thousands of others killed in combat. Additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters that Iran killed over the last 50 years. Not to mention the 52,000 that have been killed over the last 5 months. I have instructed my representatives to put this firmly into any and all future negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Somewhere in the distance, Tucker Carlson is really upset. He's like, oh, my paycheck is taking a big hit from this one. Oh, but I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I'm a CIA asset multimillionaire. Of course, this is terrible news for Tucker Carlson, who might have to pay for all this. This is very, very heartbreaking stuff, truly is. But now, the crazy... you thought this was a bad Uno reverse card? Bro, Donald Trump pulled out Iran's shock colors and said place. And just like Kaya, those bitches went squealing. Now, are you ready for something even better? The Donald made a follow-up. Also, with respect to the Iranian negotiations, Iran should be responsible for the damages and death caused to the people of Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Gaza. He does not stop laying it on these bastards. Right? So basically, Iran comes to Trump. They say, we want to make a deal. Please stop killing us. Please, Mr. President. We know you. We submit. We submit, Mr. President. We submit your giant orange face. We submit to that. It's very nice and twitching. And then the Donald responds simply by slapping them across their face with his giant orange, meaty, veiny hand. And basically he just essentially just kind of completely destroys them on the negotiating table. Right? And then like they'll make a deal in the beginning. They'll sit there and they'll make some sort of deal. They'll be like, "Oh, Mr. President, we'll stop making nukes and open the strait." And then publicly, they want to make it sound like they're winning. They puff their chest out, and America will pay us. And then Trump is like, okay, you will pay us, and you'll pay Gaza, and you'll pay Lebanon, and you'll pay Yemen, and you will pay Syria. You will actually pay for all of the things. And if you don't like it, we're just going to kill you. Because actually, we could do that. And now, a lot of people might think that it's immoral to kill the enemy. But those people are dumb. And I don't care about what dumb people think, actually. Now, there's been a pretty big scoop on the horizon. Because I mentioned yesterday that Tucker Carlson was going to be doing a show with Hunter Biden, which is pretty interesting. Now, Tucker Carlson, obviously, he wants to fight against the oligarch Epstein class by collaborating with a literal billionaire elite son of a president who got a pardon with a laptop from hell and connections to every single guy in the world. All right, so this is how he's fighting back against the elites, I guess. So anyway, so there was a scoop. Source tells me Tucker Carlson's interview with Hunter Biden, which is supposed to drop tomorrow, is going to spew the narrative that the laptop was planted by Israel. When I saw this, I thought this was a joke. I did. I saw this. I was like, no. Laura Loomer, she just says everything Tucker Carlson is, there's no way. So anyway, he just dropped his interview with Hunter Biden. As you can see, it's over 2 hours long. It starts off talking about how actually Candace Owens is the greatest person ever. You know, Candace Owens did really good when it comes to pronouncing words like monstrosity. That's one of the things that she's been really good at. Also, here's another one. This is her trying to read Gibraltar.
The Hormuz Strait, Malacca, Japan, I always say that wrong. Gilbert, you guys know, you guys know what I'm trying to say there.
She's trying to say Gibraltar, ladies and gentlemen. She is a geopolitical analyst, and that's very impressive. Now, she also thinks the Earth is flat and Jews invented dinosaurs, and says that Stalin was Jewish, and also, you know, stuff like that. Her Leering Center obviously did not do a fantastic job teaching her all that, but she is a black woman and she is speaking, so I am listening and I am learning. Ultimately, Tucker Carlson dropped this. It starts off how Candace Owens is really good, especially how she accused Erica Kirk of murdering her husband. That was really awesome of her, and very wholesome and very Christian. And also, what is this? What was Israel's role in the laptop story? 7 minutes discussing how Israel planted the laptop from hell into Hunter Biden. That's right, notorious crackhead Hunter Biden, who was with every prostitute in the entire planet, allegedly, is going out there leaking all sorts of information. It was actually all Israel that did it. Man, isn't that brutal? Isn't that wild? And of course, we have to talk about Benjamin Netanyahu, obviously, because that's very relevant to Hunter Biden interview. Again, it's pretty wild how he does this every time, and he's like, I understand that. I've literally been on Fox News when the laptop story was breaking. I was covering it every single day. I was very surprised when it turned out that a gigantic crackhead, moron, elite dipshit was out there with every prostitute ever. Allegedly sex trafficking them too. I even believed it. And then I realized the Jews had access to your laptop, didn't they? Anyway, they think you're stupid and your memory doesn't stretch beyond last week. Tucker Carlson tried to use Hunter Biden to get his son into Georgetown. Emails reveal extent to which Carlson was willing to turn on Biden's son since the 2020 election, Washington Post says. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Man, kind of odd how that was always the thing. Now, wondering if Tucker Carlson pressed Hunter Biden on the fact that the entire tech oligarchy suppressed his laptop leaks under the direction of his father. One of the most blatant examples of nepotistic corruption we've ever seen. Now, for those of you that are unaware of what this was going on, and the reason why you would be unaware of this is because we weren't allowed to talk about this, actually. But while the Hunter Biden laptop story was breaking, you were not allowed to talk about it. It was an obvious censorship of free speech. The media wasn't allowed to talk about it, and a YouTuber that would talk about it would get their channel strikes. Essentially, this was an absolutely silenced, hidden story so that Biden could win the 2024 election, and he fell down the stairs too many times for anyone to believe that he was competent, and then they got Kamala Harris to run, and Trump is just a woman destroyer of women, literally 2-0 versus women, completely invincible when it comes to battling women on the battlefield. Totally gets those bitches' panties in all the bunches. All right, so that was a devastating error on their part. Now, Tucker Carlson released merch, which is pretty incredible stuff. Now, Trump is like MAGA. Tucker Carlson's merch is, can't afford gas, groceries, or rent, but what's important is fighting Israel's wars. Oh, my God. Holy shit, $35. $35 for this slop, bro. Tucker Carlson's merch is so funny. Hey, I'm raped and poor. Here's my hat, bro. It's brutal. It's brutal. Dude, like, we give Israel 0.001% of our federal budget. Okay, like I think you don't understand exactly how tiny of a percent we actually give Israel. Now, my opinion is it's too much. I don't want to be giving anyone foreign aid. But like this is like just sad, bro, sad. Now, Candace Owens, in the traitor camp that loves Iran for some reason, has been posting how there's a Jewish woman who has a Facebook post talking about her, and she feels threatened because it could be Jewish terrorists plotting her murder. Now, again, this is coming from Candace Owens, who literally not only ran Social Autopsy, a leftist doxing server that would dox people for being racist in video games, all right, but also she is still has like her little gay entourage of people that are going out there talking about just doxing random people. She's trying to find Charlie Kirk's grave, for crying out loud. All right, like, oh my God, bro, this is unreal. And it's like, oh my God. This lady, Britta Wiedner, made 4,000 tweets about me. You talk about Erica Kirk for 2 hours every day for the last year. Like, what are we even talking about? It is unreal how delusional these people are. Now, in regards to just winning an app, like, again, these are the dipshit weeds of our party that are fighting back, trying their absolute best to destroy us from within. Now, the absolute morons, all right, don't realize the victories we are having. Dr. Fauci was privately warned of miscarriage risks linked to the injections against COVID back in 2021, while publicly claiming no issues. In my opinion, this is, again, I think this dude needs to be executed. All right, I think this dude needs to be Nuremberg trialed. All right, now, last time I said this, I literally got canceled. Oh my God, I can't believe Nux is calling for violence. No. I'm calling for justice. We need to execute these guys. Like, what are we even freaking doing? Like, we are living in a world where evil and criminality has zero consequence, so they're just going to keep doing it. Like, dude, there's a reason why God says you execute killers. All right? It's because when you execute them, maybe the next guy is not going to want to kill people. That's one reason, at least. So ultimately, so it turns out he knew that there were risks. In fact, risks of miscarriage, which, by the way, means a child dies. Yeah, that's what it means, actually, for those of you unaware. And he still claimed there were no issues. All right, this was Fauci.
Approximately 20,000 pregnant women have been vaccinated with no red flags, as we say. And this is being monitored by the CDC and the FDA.
And while he was releasing that shit, women were miscarrying because of the vaccine. Now, again, in my opinion, this is mass murder. I think this dude literally needs to get Nuremberg trialed. It's insane. Now, of course, the left is trying their best to distance themselves from the entire woke fiasco because, you see, woke 1 was everyone's gay and we're going to castrate your children. Woke 2 is they're just terrorists. Actually, that's just how they've evolved. So it's pretty interesting. Anyway, so here we have AOC on the media talking about how woke 1 was crazy.
The abolished prisons, abolished police, which is also positions that have been taken by a lot of the progressive candidates who have won. Mm-hmm. How do you get around that?
Yeah.
I mean, those are not positions that are supported by
right. I mean, I think that a lot of these races...
Dude, I want Trump to run for a 4th term just so he could defeat another bitch.
Even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized. Yeah. But...
Okay, why is that relevant?
These races ultimately...
He's getting fat, by the way.
And all politics are local. My understanding is that... Is that Francesca Hong has made clear her presence.
Politics are local, so she only wants to release the local rapists. So why are you making a big deal about it?
Stances to her electorate.
Yeah, she's moved away from a lot
of that. Right, she's moved away from...
She's moved away. She was just a little bitty baby at the young age of 47 when she wanted to abolish prisons because that's what the trend was on social media. And now she doesn't.
And I have a local city councilman that has this... saying woke 1 was crazy.
Woke 1 was crazy. Okay, that's interesting.
Woke 1 was so crazy, guys. Let's just move on and make believe none of that absolute insanity ever happens. Okay? Now, let me explain to you exactly how woke 1 happened. It's very simple. Women entered politics. That's it. That's literally the entire story. That's how it works. And women, basically, they go by consensus. Not always. I think men have struggles. Women have struggles. Men have issues in certain regards. I think mostly when it comes to ego, men have a lot more ego issues than women, in my opinion. Women follow the consensus, and literally will follow that consensus off a cliff and kill themselves. And the consensus was like, actually, we all just need to castrate our children now. And the women were like, yes! Yes! And the consensus on social media was just like, yo, we should just start opening the prisons and let out the rapists. And the women were like, yes! Yes! That's literally what we're dealing with in politics now. And we're just dealing with all these dumbasses following each other like lemmings off of a cliff. Now, again, woke one was crazy, says AOC, who said this. Not just women, trans men, and non-binary people can also menstruate. Again, you said this shit yourself. We're not gonna let you off the hook just being like, oh, woke one was crazy. It was a totally different thing. No, we will hold your feet to the freaking fire. You should not have the right to remain in politics, bro. When you were able to fall for this hysteria, and by fall for this hysteria, I means literally just repeat the consensus so that she can get people to like you. Now, a lot of people, a lot of women. All right, here comes Nux woman analysis. It never gets me in trouble. A lot of women want attention. Now, if they're married and they get attention from their husband, that's awesome. If they're not married and they're alone and they're miserable and they're aborting their babies, well, then they need attention from everybody. So the solution is simple. You become a whore online, on social media, or you join politics, which is just basically another kind of prostitute, if you think about it, literally at all. Now, again, this is the same AOC who's saying woke one was crazy.
Every night I would come home and the only thing that would help me disconnect and unplugged was watching Drag Race.
Wow.
That was
Oh my god, I just love watching mutilated, cross-dressing abominations just run down aisles in front of children. Every night, I'm just like, I want to see what the child groomers are doing. That's what I think about every single night. I go home, alone, miserable, tired. I just aborted 17 babies. It was very gruesome. Oh. I sit down on my couch, and then I'm like, holy shit. I just want to see some child groomers shaking their ass in front of children.
a thing that I did every single night. And to be in this moment is just so humbling and amazing. And
So amazing to be around all of you. Do you still have your penises? Yes. Oh my God. That's fantastic. Me too.
I'm just trying to drink it up the way you all are.
It's just so crazy that, like, somebody so important in this country would take the time out of their life to come here. Not only you be
Such a good point. You know, this abomination has a really good point when he says that it's really surprising and humbling that someone important is out here coming to normalize this. Fantastic point. And literally dead on, sir. So Shoeonhead responds, haha, woke one was crazy. But if you said woke one was crazy during woke one, you were a fascist, racist, Nazi. Literally straight facts. If you said what I just said about this clip in woke one, they would crucify you. All right. So whatever progressive politicians are talking about right now, they'll just say woke 2 was crazy in 5 years. Incredible stuff. So in 5 years, when everyone's going to talk about how abolishing prisons was crazy and how, like, you had Zohran Mamdani wanting state-owned grocery stores, and that's crazy. And you're going to have all these people, Abdul El Sayed, that literally supports Hezbollah terrorists. They're going to be like, well, that was crazy. Zero accountability for any of these people. I was just a baby. I was just a 35-year-old completely adult woman that was just one-shotted by social media to believe that this was normal. It's not my fault. I don't actually have free will or agency. I just go with the flow. So anyway, DEI in the streets, as they say, colonized in the sheets. Turns out all these anti-white racists are all literally married to white people, interestingly enough. It's probably a coincidence. But to wrap up this segment on potentially one of the most wholesome updates, they renamed this base, this joint base Lindsey Graham.
The moment has now arrived. With a shared vision for the future and deep respect for our past, together, let us mark this new beginning in 3, 2, 1.
Look at that. Look at that. The U.S. Air Force Joint Base Lindsey Graham. No one loved war like old Lindsey, and we are gonna remember him for his upsides. Absolutely. Yeah, the point that I'm trying to make is that killing terrorists is awesome, actually. And the more of them that die, the better. And that people are going to say, oh my God, Nux, I can't believe you're endorsing killing terrorists. Yes, I am. And no matter how many homosexual globalists are going to convince you that woke 3 is actually going to be the real movement of change, we are going to destroy them just like we destroyed woke 1 and just like we're going to destroy woke 2. So lock in. Thanks for your attention to this matter. We have a civilizational battle to fight. And every time I see like one of these like, oh my God, oh no, it's a Haitian immigrant that literally just decided to come here for a better life illegally, I'm just like, remove the alien. I don't care. Purge the alien. Put them back where they came from. No, don't send them to Haiti. Haiti's literally hell. Yeah. But why is Haiti literally hell, though? Disgusting alien noises. Sorry, bitch. You're going back to hell. We got a civilization to save. Now, the Muslim community, well, they're not very happy about the fact that people are starting to notice their takeover of the country. Now, for the last while, I have seen the right be incredibly principled in regards to not being Islamophobic. And recently, as the Muslims continue to conquer, the right is like, we actually don't really want to get conquered, to be completely honest with you. Now, again, it's not every Muslim, obviously. I want to make that distinction. The radical Muslims are the snake in the grass. The Muslims at the grass. Anyway, breaking news! Hasan Piker says he wants to, quote, destroy the white race. I covered this in my previous video, but the discourse got way hairier ever since then. Of course, people are responding. Breaking news, foreigner hates white people. Literally the least shocking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm white Lamau, says Hasan Piker, Schrodinger's white guy, as we find him. This week on Hasan, 999.6% cooked, some would even say. All right, so I'm white Lamau, says Hasan. Now, actually, I have exclusive footage of Hasan tweeting this, actually. Now, a lot of people don't realize, but I was actually literally taking a photo of him as he was tweeting this. That's right. Everyone in chat is so surprised right now. This, as you can see, is Hasan Piker typing I'm white Lamau, as you can see from this photo right over here. Now, interestingly enough, Hasan Piker, who has been notoriously on record saying I'm white Lamau, has also had gigantic crash outs whenever someone dared call him white. Now, the reason why he was offended when someone called him white is actually because he's a giga racist. He hates white people. He hates black people. He's a Turk. What can I say? He loves infinite Ottoman Empire, baby. Look, I am not saying that Turks love genocide, because I have literally been criticized by people at YouTube for saying Turks love genocide. So I will not be making that statement that Turks love genocide. Historically, Turks have done a bunch of genocides, but that is not indicative of the opinions of the Turks. I just want to make that very clear.
What he's doing here is smearing Connie as a Zionist in defense of you because she reacted to something. She reacted to some completely indefensible statement of yours. See, this is what I mean. It's like, really, it's indefensible.
He's probably mad because he saw an Armenian in the chat and he realized that they missed one. That was a joke, obviously, and a glib remark towards the Armenian genocide carried out by the Turks, which, again, is not something indicative of what every Turk would do, but...
You find it indefensible. You find it defensible for a white supremacist organization who has actively tried to fucking tackle affirmative action initiatives, which have now led to the anti-DEI movement that we are currently in. You find that to be so fucking...
By the way,
you can't be talking like that, white baby. See, this is what I mean. First of all, suck my fucking cock, okay? I'm a goddamn Muslim American who gets fucking called a terrorist every fucking day.
Oh, that's actually not because of the color of your skin. That's because you love terrorism. Continue.
Okay, are we doing racism Olympics? Are we talking about what kind of racism is institutionally completely appropriate?
Well, let me introduce you to institutionally completely appropriate racism, ladies and gentlemen. It's when you don't like terrorists. That's right. Disliking terrorists is now racism, according to the left. You see, woke 1 was like, all races and cultures are equal. I said that with a straight face. I'm still surprised. Woke 2 is like, actually, if you criticize terrorists, you're racist. Man, woke 2 is so much cooler than woke 1, guys. It's so much cooler. Now, this is your daily reminder that Islam is not a race. It is an ideology. This is also your daily reminder that terrorism isn't a race. It is often carried out by a specific ideology, of which I will not mention particularly at all, obviously. Of course not. It's just not the Christians or the Jews or the Hindus or the Sikhs, usually. But anyway, this is him getting super mad that someone called him white. Right, so he's white, he's not white, he's Schrodinger's white, he's not Schrodinger's white. This is his head, smaller than usual. But he's getting fat, so you probably weren't able to tell. Now, Asmongold was recently banned on Twitch for saying that countries should defend their borders. Very controversial take, because according to the homosexual globalist elites, they want you to get raped to death. They want your infinite rape to happen to all of your family. Now, the globalists love that stuff, which is why I'm demonetized on YouTube. I made an entire deep dive on the morality of killing child invaders on my Patreon, which I'm not saying here that I actually endorse or not. Because on YouTube, you're not allowed to have opinions. However, on Patreon, you're allowed to have opinions. So you can check my Patreon, linked in the description, where I do an entire deep dive on the morality of, or immorality of killing children that are trying to invade your nation. Now, I am tired of aliens, and aliens need to go. I'm just saying. Oh no, an alien is crying. Tear up the Constitution. I don't care. The aliens have to go. Purge the aliens. Remove them. Remove the aliens. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is Hasan is very angry that Asmongold was banned. I have an entire video on this yesterday. Asmongold's response to being banned for advocating for murder migrant children. Actually, he was advocating to defend your country from Xenos filth. All right? Literally. Who are using children as human shields. Let's double down and then talk about other kinds of children that should also be murdered. I'm not even joking. That's based, because there are tons of different children that should die. I know. It's a really hard thing to hear. It's definitely a rough thing to discuss. Again, this is coming from Hasan, the guy who endorses abortion, which is the largest child-killing project in the history of the world. All right, let's not mince words. To be really mad at Asmongold for wanting to defend your border. And he's like, yeah, sometimes when terrorists use children as human shields, they'll die. What are you supposed to do? Just not fight the terrorists? It's like, oh shit! Oh shit, an alien is a baby duct taped to his chest? We have to let him rape us now. Rape me, alien. There's nothing I can do about it. Please, but be quick, alien. Please be quick. Anyway, so the point is, Asmongold actually responds with a truke. That's a truth nuke, in short. Hasan has said that Israeli settlers were valid military targets, and then explicitly said there are baby settlers. Anyone could look this clip up and find it. Bro, Asmongold's been watching the Nuxanor series. I'm just saying. You're not mad I said to shoot kids. You're mad the kids I said to shoot aren't Jews. Oh my God! He literally dropped the truth of a lifetime. And then Hasan immediately responds in the classic terrorist-supporting, dog-shocking, brothel enthusiast manner where he just lies. No surprise, the child murder advocate is lying! But he's not. For the state most famous for murdering children, Israel. Now, it's so funny because now, not only is Israel not even remotely close to the state that murdered the most children. In fact, Turkey murdered way more children than Israel. Not even remotely close. Speaking of states that kill children, as well. By the way, America killed more children when we nuked Japan. Literally in just that one instance alone. And there are so many examples of this again and again and again. But anyway, no one cares. It's like, oh yeah, the terrorist is using your child as a human shield. Quick! Sacrifice your civilization! Sacrifice it for the sake of the one child. The child is duct taped to the terrorist's chest. They're shooting missiles from. They're duct taping babies to rocket launchers. Nothing you can do about that anymore. It's over. It's over, guys. Nothing you can do. Well, you can defend yourself. A child will die. Anyway, so Hasan Piker, who doesn't understand anything about the world, that's a joke. He obviously does. He just wants you to be emotionally manipulated by terrorist child shield havers, child body armor enjoyers. So anyway, so Hasan Piker first says, you're lying, except, was he lying though?
Palestinians, and this is going to sound very radical and possibly very violent, but this is a matter of law, and maybe even if you agree with this, a matter of morality. Palestinians have the legal ground to violently seize back their own homes from the settlers. This is a reality, and that is precisely the reason why they have to exist under endless occupation in the West Bank.
You know what? And that's why I say, if it was settlers, that would be a lot more understandable. Yeah. But let's not obfuscate. Okay, I understand what
this is talking about Hamas terrorists invading the Israeli border, raping and murdering 1,300 Jews, and then kidnapping 300 more, by the way, including dozens of Americans.
Saying. This dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But
there are baby settlers as well, bro. What do you mean? So Hasan Piker, first of all, talks about how any Palestinian has every right to kill an Israeli settler because they're settling and stuff. And then, all of a sudden, bro decides to say, of course there are baby settlers. Of course. So Hasan, an actual advocate for terrorists murdering innocent babies, is crying that Asmongold thinks that you should actually defend your nation from terrorists that are using babies as human shields. Again, I don't care about your fake morality, alien. We're going to get you out of here, and it's going to be awesome. Now, Dem top surrogate, Hasan Piker, says he loves the goal of impoverishing the white middle class.
His top aide, Sia Weaver, said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over. And impoverish the white middle class.
Beast mode. I love her so much. One of the things about Zoran is that the people surrounding him oftentimes are so much cooler than he is. But that's also part of the reason why I really respect what he's doing. She's awesome.
What?
Right. So we have this guy who wants to destroy the white race. And also he loves the goal of impoverishing the white middle class. I'm just saying, isn't that incredible? Isn't it incredible that this dude exists? Now, let me just show you. Exhibit A for why birthright citizenship is cancer. Thank you for your attention to this matter. But this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He's mad that Zoran Mamdani isn't radical enough as he seizes property from white people to give it to the infinite invasion of brown people. All right, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now, again, he makes believe he's white. And simultaneously not white. It's incredible that this is a real guy. Now, this is people being like, hello, this is literally Hasan Piker in his pool in the backyard of his Los Angeles mansion with the dog that he likes electrocuting. Hello. And then leftists are like, the pool is tiny, though. That's right, guys. He's just a tiny pool. He just look like a tiny pool. It's just a tiny pool. He's a communist with a Gucci bag. Got his Prada kicks. Yeah, gotta have his swag. And a tiny pool. And a tiny head. And tiny schmeat. But he's fat, so he makes up for that. Anyway, so Hasan Piker's mom admits her son's love for China is outlandish. No one saw this one coming, literally ever. Hasan Piker's mom being like, I think my baby is actually a Chinese operative. Very cool. Now, Abdul El Sayed campaign surrogate Hasan Piker has a message to young Americans. All right? In case you're aware that what his actual foreign policy stance is, it's pretty good.
Don't join the military. Do not join the military. I'm sorry to say,
Hasan Piker urges his audience of transsexual terrorists not to join the military.
I told you. Do not join the military. An important lesson for all foreign adversaries of America to pay close attention to. You want sovereignty? You got to get nukes. That's it. This is the end of American imperialism in our lifetime. That's why I said what I said.
You don't join the military. Iran needs nuclear weapons. Continue.
At Yale. At the Yale Union, in that speech that I delivered, I said, American empire is dying. It's ending no matter what we say. So it's up to us to manage that decline of American empire and to retreat from the world in a more equitable manner. Don't join the military. Do not join the military.
So this dude just exists to destroy our nation. Why are we not deporting this guy? What logical explanation could you give me for why executing him, after a trial, of course, is not appropriate? Like, I don't want to be rude here. I'm not calling for violence. I'm asking a moral question. What logical reason could you, or moral reason, could you give me as to why, after a trial, this dude shouldn't be executed for treason? Like, can you explain this to me? Like, again, I'm just asking for the moral argument. Now, Dr. Abdul El Sayed, not a real doctor, said, both of these multimillionaires can afford weekly weekends in Mackinac Island. How about you and your family? So this is him going to Mackinac Island in Michigan, saying he hates the town because the white people live there and the roads are clean and there's not rape. And I guess Abdul El Sayed likes dirty towns with rape. But this town is white people with no rape, so he's not a fan. So you got people like Kid Rock going on Fox News to talk about how actually it's like, why does he just hate this area that he's supposed to be representing in the Senate?
And Mackinac is one of the most beautiful places in America. And don't take my word for it. Ask the millions of people who have visited. I just recently had some friends up here at my lake home in Charlevoix, Michigan, from South Alabama, from Birmingham, Alabama, but have a lake house in Alabama.
Yeah, talking about how beautiful it is. Obviously, Dr. Abdul El Sayed decides to do the socialist grift. Oh, they're multimillionaires. You can afford homes on Mackinac. How about you? Can you afford a home on Mackinac? Again, this is coming from Dr. Abdul El Sayed, who owns 3 homes around the world. This scammer owns 3 homes around the world. Literally, all these commies are scammers LARPing as victims of capitalism because they think you're dumb. And you know what? They're right! You are dumb! It's working! It's working on getting the dumb vote. It's literally working. Now, of course, this is someone talking about how Hasan Piker is definitely scary as shit.
20 minutes outside of Dearborn. I'm very familiar with this area. I'm watching this race very closely. I have seen firsthand what is happening in these communities. You cannot tell me that it is not happening. I have seen the forced subjugation and humiliation of women in the name of Islam. I have heard the Islamic call to prayer blasted in the streets. I have seen street signs named after literal terrorists. And I have watched as the mayor of Dearborn looked at a concerned resident in the face and told him that he didn't belong in the community because he dared raise objections to any of this. This is a problem. None of this is normal, and I'm not going to be shamed by Hasan Piker, who is now out there calling everyone who raises concerns about this Islamophobic.
You see, I think that you should just make believe that Islamophobic is not real, because it's not. You see, here's the thing. You are giving them power by making believe that they actually have some sort of thing on you. All right, if someone calls me Islamophobic, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to get blown up by a guy screaming Allahu Akbar. No. Oh, and no, well, now what? So anyway, Hasan Piker, it's not Islam that's subjugating women in this country. It's Republicans. They just lie, actually. Like, lying is just OP, bro. It's crazy how they do this every single time. All right, now, Zohran Mamdani had a recently resurfaced podcast clip show up where he's basically admitting to the fact that his entire political goal is manipulating Gen Z college kids that want an identity to vote for him so he could gain power, import infinite people to rape them. Okay, I embellished the end there, but that's kind of what the end goal is, right?
I think that with the interesting thing about our communities here is I think that minority communities, because we have never had representation, we are tied much more to identity. White communities, they've had representation forever. And so for them, their tie is a little less identity and a little more ideology. And so what I mean by that is we have a lot of voters here who think of themselves first as progressive voters. And so we reach out to them speaking about our platform, our progressive platform. And you're very right that you need someone in the middle to be a validator, someone to tell them to trust us, believe in us. We've had that with Tiffany Caban and Cynthia Nixon.
I love how his accent used to just be like an Indian accent. It was really fun with the way we manipulate stupid white women. They go to college. They think they have brain because they have degree and underwater butt sex. I don't support butt sex, but I'll tell them I do. I am simply going to admit that my entire strategy is simple. We will take the white liberal bitch. We will fool them. We will convince them. Progressive. I am progressive. I'm progressive. You must join my movement as progressives. What I love when women wear towels. Towel women are my favorite kind of women. Easily my favorite kind of women. I heard one speak in the background, and this is very upsetting to me. Women speak. No towel woman would speak. Anyway, so, of course, Mamdani goes out there, and he gets booed, literally booed off stage in the funniest way.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some more dancing?
Look at that.
See, oh, no, we're not. We're getting awards. Somebody's getting an award. You want to see who's getting an award? Come on, guys. I want some energy here.
Literally booed him off stage. Now, Secular Talk with Cuck Skalinski had this to say. This was a little girl's dance event in Staten Island. My sister was there. A Republican heckled and booed so hard he induced cardiac arrest in himself. He hated on Zohran so aggressively he literally had a heart attack at a kid's dance recital. Laughing emoji. Except none of this is true. Community note, this event was not at a children's dance recital. It was at a cop show. All right? It was at the annual National Night Out Against Crime, hosted by the NYPD and law enforcement. So he literally just lies. Again, this is the entire leftist strategy. Just lying is OP, right? You just lie, and then people will be like, holy shit. They'll just believe you because that's actually just how it goes. Now, Gad Saad is a man who escaped Lebanon because Muslims killed the Jews there, and he ended up in Canada for some reason. He said, my family and I escaped execution in Lebanon because Islam wanted to kill us. My parents were kidnapped by Fatah and were severely mistreated. Our home in Beirut was stolen by Palestinian Muslims. My wife's family escaped Lebanon because Islam wanted to kill them. Her ancestors escaped the Armenian genocide because Islam wanted to kill them. My grandparents escaped Syria because Islam wanted to kill them. My brother-in-law's family escaped Alexandria in Egypt because Islam wanted to kill them. them. My family and I are leaving Montreal because Islam wants to kill us. The number of threats I've received forced me to take a 2-year leave from my home university. He's a professor at University of Montreal. I'm moving to this place over here to defend American liberties and freedoms of ideological threats. A vile Islamist who despises Jews is now reporting me to my new institution because I dare criticize Islam. Imagine the chutzpah. I will never stop defending the West from the dangers it faces. Long live the United States. All right, interesting. Now, I don't see a pattern here. It's probably a coincidence. Of course, Mehdi Hasan responds with, is Islam in the room with you now? This is coming from Notorious Islamist that says that non-Muslims are animals and pedophiles. Again, this is the meme. My entire family had to flee from Islam, tried to kill us. No, actually. Yep. No, that didn't happen. Yep. Thank you, Mehdi Hasan, for your empathy. His empathy is so good. So much empathy. Now, anyway, look at what's going on over here. This is happening, actually, not in Afghanistan or Iraq. This is in Chicago, baby. Chicago.
Can't make this up, guys. I am standing in the exact place where we are doing a Jesus march in 1 hour, and look who's here. A massive march, a massive Muslim march, where right now there's...
I mean, they kind of look like anime villains. Like the Akatsuki showed up to capture some Jinchuriki or some shit.
Singing over Chicago. Muhammad is the only one. May Allah be lifted up. They're declaring that all Jews and all Christians would be removed from this city. I mean, this is... You know I've been talking about this over the last week, and yet here we are right in the middle of it. Our cities in our nation...
You're Islamophobic if you don't want to get jihaded to death. That's right. If you don't want to get Durka to Mohammed jihaded, you might be Islamophobic. Now, in case you want to know what the end result to all this is, because obviously we don't know, we're still in the Muslim Brotherhood growth phase. Again, you will notice every single conservative guy is going to take my talking points in 6 months, and they're going to have exactly the same conversation that I'm having with you now. They're going to be having with you in 6 months. Pay attention. Nuxtradamus is just 6 months ahead of the curve. This is what's happening in England. This is a man who was arrested for purchasing a baseball bat because it could be misconstrued as a weapon.
From there, you fucking car. Mate,
why are you filming it?
I'm meeting my friends.
Do video, mate. Videos out of town.
The baseball bat is still in the plastic.
Hey, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Mate, what have I done?
What is this?
What have I done? Protect yourself.
Policeman out here.
Yeah, look at that. Young lad purchased a baseball bat in modern England. As soon as he leaves the store, police grab him for, quote, carrying a weapon. The bat is still in its plastic covering. Dog, look at that shit. Look at that shit. Arrested for buying a baseball bat in England.
Hey, don't.
From that fucking shop, you dumb cunt.
It's still in the plastic. And, well, this is France, actually. Because it turns out this is just literally all over the place. Breaking two police officers ambushed and stabbed in Toulouse, France. The attacker yelled Allahu Akbar during the attack. Probably means nothing, actually. This is the end result. Now, when I call this shit out, I get infinite Islamophobia claims. But the reality is, we all know exactly where this is going. We all know that when a Christian screams Christ is king, no one's scared. When a Jew is screaming Baruch Hashem, no one's worried. But when a Muslim guy jumps on the train with a backpack and screams Allahu Akbar, everyone runs off the train. Now, you could argue that's Islamophobia. Hasan Piker would. But the reality is, I just don't want to get jihaded to death. Is that too much to ask? And, well, if you want the correct talking points that people are going to start using in 6 months, you should definitely subscribe, of course. But also, I'm doing an entire deep dive series on my Patreon, literally analyzing the Quran. We're going through the Quran every week, and it's been illuminating, let's just say. But not for any of the reasons that you actually expect. Do you not want the eye of Sauron of the government staring at you at all times? Well, I have fantastic news for you. We hear a lot of talk about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you can actually own and control your money, but after the 2008 financial crisis, yada yada, Bitcoin designed as an alternative to banks, and essentially, shit was whack. There's great news though. You could finally control your money, and you could do it through Rumble Wallet, linked in the description there, or you could use the QR code on the screen. You can go to rumble.wallet.com/Nux and put in the code NUX10 to claim $10 in US stable coin for free money. That sounds crazy, actually. I was in the Jew tunnels. They told me about this. I immediately popped out to do this stuff. If you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everyone heard of crypto, but getting started feels complicated, and that's why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stable coins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay. Use your credit card, debit card, bank, be up and running in minutes. You will have your money in your control, in your own hands, and it is the best way to support me, someone who's fully demonetized. So if you can actually do that, that would be incredibly appreciated. There is no cut that anyone takes. It goes directly to me if you tip me there. And honestly, it's just a really good way to actually have full financial control of your money. So right now, scan the QR code or click the link in the description, download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. It takes like 2 minutes from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and back to the chaos. Now, I mentioned it briefly earlier, but Tucker Carlson just did a full-ass interview with Hunter Biden, baby. And you know it's gonna be good when Tucker Carlson, a guy who's always up for fighting against the evil oligarch Epstein class, is literally collaborating with the oligarch Epstein class. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I'm gonna show you some people incredulous. I don't understand. Why is Tucker Carlson trying to launder the reputation of the liberals? Let me explain to you. You see, Tucker Carlson is not trying to win. Tucker Carlson can't win anything. He's literally in the coalition of losers between him and Joe Kent and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Masshole, all these guys that literally all lost all their shit, right? They all came together to lose more shit. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because their purpose is to destroy the right so that the left could win. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's a gigantic op, and you, sir, are falling for it. Now, I called this a long time ago, got an infinite amount of shit for it, and I am going to be laughing all the way to the bank, watching conservatives be like, I don't understand. Why is Tucker Carlson doing this? Well, if you've been watching Nuxanor, you know. Anyway, so immediately, this was the graphic that Tucker Carlson decided to share in regards to his interview with Hunter Biden. The laptop came from Israel. That's right. All the alleged kiddie porn that was on Hunter Biden's laptop, that was the Jews. That was the Jews. Allegedly sleeping with his brother's widow. The Jews, probably. If I have to say so myself, probably. All the state secrets, all the conversations with different Russian agents and shit. Yeah, it was all the Jews. Crack cocaine, Jews. Have you considered the Jews? Now, anyway, the crazy twist is Tucker Carlson actually had a history of being on Fox News and blasting these guys, and it's incredible. Now, my favorite thing is how the laptop came from Israel, and also Israel runs the media, which censored the laptop story. For those of you that don't remember how big this story was, anyone that was even commentating on the Hunter Biden laptop story got immediately demonetized and deplatformed everywhere. The media was literally censoring this entire story on every left-wing media outlet. So the Jews not only planted the laptop, but the Jews that also controlled the media was censoring the story about the laptop. Again, probably the greatest strategy I've ever heard. Literally, it's incredible. The cripple fight, the Jews versus the Jews. Many such cases. I've generally been supportive of Israel, but the way they made Hunter Biden become a crackhead, sleep with his brother's widow, abandon his child, photograph his degenerate behavior, store it all in a laptop, drop it off at a computer repair shop, and never pick it up is just crossing a line. Thankfully, we have Qatari foreign agent, Tucker Carlson, to explain it all. I'm really glad, personally, that we have Tucker Carlson to actually break this apart. And Tucker Carlson, the kiddie porn, the Jews. Anyway, I'm very excited about this. So Tucker Carlson tried to use Hunter Biden to get his son into Georgetown. Apparently, Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden, they have quite the history. He went from sucking Hunter Biden to fucking Hunter Biden very quickly, it seems. All right, so he tries to blast him and destroy him on the media. Back when he was in Fox News. Also, he used his connections with Hunter Biden to try to get his son into certain universities. Pretty interesting. Also, let's not forget how literally the entire media sphere was censored because of this. But I think the best part is going back to Tucker Carlson's old reporting on Fox News regarding the laptop. It's pretty good stuff. And then the evolution to where we are now, where he's actually saying it was the Jews.
These emails came from a laptop, an Apple laptop, that was dropped off at a Delaware computer repair shop last year and then abandoned there. After a certain number of days...
Delaware is the name of a district in Tel Aviv, for those of you that are unfamiliar.
With no payment, the shop's owner took legal possession of the laptop.
By the way, the reason why I'm calling you a foreign agent, a lot of people are like in chat being like, listen, baby's not a foreign... No, literally, he got $15 million from Trita Parsi, an Iranian patriot. An Iranian patriot that worked for the Iranian Islamic Republic. Literally gave him $15 million after he was fired by Fox News. Okay, so you could shut up. All right, he's in Russia sniffing the bread in grocery stores, besties with Vladimir Putin, giving him softball interviews. He's out there literally on Iran state media. He bought himself a house in Qatar. I've called this dude a sham fraud scumfuck for a year. And literally everyone said, oh my God, Nux, where are you going? Why are you doing this?
Looked inside. There were tens of thousands of emails, including exchanges with representatives of foreign companies and foreign governments.
Oh,
the laptop apparently belonged to Hunter Biden.
Apparently.
The shop owner was stunned by this. The
reason why we know that it was owned by Hunter Biden, aside from the fact that it literally was Hunter Biden's laptop, is because he signed when he gave the laptop to this repair shop in Delaware. He signed it, and he admits that he signed it, by the way.
Appearance of corruption, and he was afraid for his family.
Yeah.
So late last year, he gave the laptop to the FBI. He kept a copy of the hard drive for himself, but he never heard back from the FBI. By May, he was anxious, so he made overtures to Senator Mike Lee's office and at least one conservative nonprofit. He emailed their websites, but no one responded. Finally, the man contacted Rudy Giuliani's office, and today's story is the result of that.
So then I hear this.
So that was the reporting in 2020.
Story about how, then the official story comes out about how the laptop was left. You left a couple of laptops in a laptop repair store in Greenville, Delaware, which a town I'm very familiar with. So, and the guy was blind. Then I interviewed the guy who seemed to totally believe the story, John McIsaac. I mean, he seemed to be telling the truth. But the story did not make sense. Meanwhile, we get approached by Israelis connected to Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, I know that.
Israelis, nebulous Israelis. We don't actually know who they are, but they're Jews. I know it for sure. I've seen the curls on their hairs. I've seen their fuzzy hats. They're Jews.
Yeah. Who are shopping this stuff to me at Fox News.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Now, let me just remind you that while he was at Fox News, he got the full contents of the laptop and he never released them. This is known true facts.
I don't think that part of the story, the laptop is real. I thought that from day one. But the way that it entered the bloodstream of the American media was not real.
Right. So you got Hunter Biden. Exactly, Tucker. You're so right. You're so right. It really is suspicious. He's like, I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that you had prostitutes. And I do believe that you were a crackhead. And I do believe the kiddie porn on the laptop was real. But the Jews gave it to us. Let's go. Whoa. Maybe Israel is our greatest ally, actually, in that case. I don't know what to say. Mulgren, thanks for the 50 on Rumble. Holy crap. Anyway, so this was another one. October 27 in 2020, Tucker Carlson spent an hour on Fox News explaining that Joe Biden was personally involved in his family's business dealings. And then he said that Biden's denial of his involvement is a lie, and everyone repeating it knows it's a lie. And then in 2026, we have Hunter Biden telling Tucker Carlson that nothing proves any criminality at all.
But Joe Biden had no knowledge of any of these business deals. He told us that, and the press has repeated that message every day since. It is a lie, and everyone saying it knows it's a lie.
Of what was distributed that was authentic, it's all mine. All those emails.
Yeah, I know.
Buckley. And you know what? You know what? Not a single one of them proves of any criminality of my father whatsoever. Of any.
So Tucker Carlson on Fox News disproves criminality of his father. And now, he just literally, his son is out there, literally contradicting that story, and Tucker Carlson doesn't push back.
Way in which I ever
That's weird.
Sent an email saying, hey, Dad, I need you to get this done on behalf of a client of mine. Now, I think that's dispositive.
But Joe Biden had no knowledge of any of these business deals. He told us that, and the press has repeated that message.
That's really
every day
awkward.
since.
That's really awkward.
It is a lie.
It's a lie. All right, so you have Tucker Carlson on Fox News saying it's a lie that Biden Sr. didn't have any information here. And here he is listening to Hunter Biden, and he's literally just whitewashing the reputation of the Democroids. All right, in my opinion, for the purpose of destroying the Republicans. All right, now this is pretty incredible. So this is Tucker Carlson's actual claim that the Israelis got them the laptop.
Then the official story comes out about how the laptop was left.
By the way, this is an image of his signature. This is Hunter Biden's signature when he gave the laptop to the repair shop.
You left a couple of laptops in a laptop repair store in Greenville, Delaware, which a town I'm very familiar with. So, and the guy was blind. Then I interviewed the guy who seemed to totally believe the story, John McIsaac. I mean, he seemed to be telling the truth. But the story did not make sense. Meanwhile, we get approached by Israelis connected to Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
Who are
Not going to say any names, not going to show any proof. Trust me, bro.
shopping this stuff to.
Again, listen, man, I feel so bad for the high IQ anti-Semites. I really do. Like, these guys are out there. They're doing their best to prove how Jews are, like, working their way through different institutions to push goy slop onto the people. And the truth is, they're right about a lot of what they say. What am I supposed to say? Yes, there are a lot of Jews in places of power that are pushing infinite slop and migration shenanigans and all the degenerate garbage. Yeah, there are Jews in those spots. And that is a real criticism to be made. But how are you ever going to take these people seriously, literally ever, when you have this happening where everything is the Jews? Like, it's unreal. Sneeko goes to Haiti, gets eye worms, blames the Jews, and it's like, bro, like, we can't even, like, bro.
Me at Fox News.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that part of the story, the laptop is real. I thought that from day one. But the way that it entered the bloodstream of the American media was not real. So I just want to ask you point blank, did you drop off laptops?
No. And this is the thing that I've said.
No, I didn't drop off laptops. Except he literally did drop off laptops and signed papers when he dropped them off. We have his signature.
Over and over again. I have literally zero recollection or memory of ever dropping off a
You were a crackhead. You were a crackhead. It's like, listen, man, I was busy with prostitutes and crack and shit. I don't remember dropping off any laptops at any foreign places. Meanwhile, we literally have his laptop in places where we know that he was there because there are witnesses that he was there, where he literally fucking signed papers that he was there. I don't remember it at all, actually. I literally don't even remember anything. Innocent. I have zero memory of committing crimes.
A laptop at John Paul McIsaac's. No, the answer is no. And John Paul McIsaac.
Wild.
So John Paul McIsaac, who's legally.
By the way, remember Tucker Carlson ran the entire story on Fox News. All right, 6 years ago. And now wild how this is totally a lie. So, did you push lies on Fox News?
Blind.
Yes.
Who on the day when the laptop became public, sat outside of his shop and gave an interview and flat out says that he doesn't remember seeing me. He couldn't identify me.
He was blind. Oh my God. You signed the paper. Oh my God.
And also that his security cameras that he has don't have any footage from that time. And so regardless of anything,
slop, man.
just this, the laptop, according to Lev Parnas, under oath in his testimony before the House Oversight Committee, was being sought.
By the way, let me just pay attention. Tucker Carlson is not asking him a single tough question. Tucker Carlson interviews Ted Cruz on Iran and makes sure grills Ted Cruz. Is like, what's the population of Iran? It's actually 90 million, not 80 million. You don't even know the population of the country that you're planning on invading? Whoa! Right? Like, bro, he was literally doing that to Ted Cruz. All right, and here he has Hunter Biden, all right, the adversary, part of the party that wants open borders and abortion until birth and infinite child castration, Vtube, all right? And he is literally giving a free pass to whitewash every single bit of his shit.
Rudy Giuliani in Ukraine all the way back in 2018. And so Rudy Giuliani is working with a guy named Andrei Derkach, who was a MP in Ukraine and a known Russian GRU agent. So Rudy goes over there and basically takes his dossier and receives information that Hunter Biden's hard drive, not laptop, is for sale.
Hard drive, not his laptop.
And the
That's a
person
totally
that they
different
can go to is this other
poking holes in the story,
Ukrainian Russian oligarch who is living in Austria.
I love how the son of the president, who covered up the Epstein files for 4 years while he was president, is not considered an elite. But every random dipshit in computer stores in Denver, all those guys are oligarchs connected to Israeli and Russian intelligence.
That's what Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman were doing, getting on the plane before they were arrested.
So how did
this... Also, let's not forget that this dude was getting paid $80,000 a month from Ukraine. Okay? Again, no pushback on any of this.
John Paul McIsaac was ever a twinkle in anybody's eye.
I believe that. The story, that was always the weak part of the story. Like, he drops off
So
laptops.
even
and
John
forgets them.
Paul McIsaac, okay,
Very suspicious how he drops off laptops. A hole in the story. Bruh. What are we doing?
there is no such thing as a laptop. The laptop that he turned.
There is the laptop wasn't real, but also the Jews planted it. But also it doesn't exist.
It eventually turns over a year later, 18 months later, to the FBI. The thing that is distributed and disseminated that John Paul McIsaac claims that he got off of a device was a hard drive. And that hard drive had a limited amount of information, a limited amount of like gigabytes. I don't know the difference between a gigabyte and a whatever.
Bro's like, bro, there's no way. There's no way. There was only like a terabyte of child porn on it, okay? So when they say that there was 2 terabytes of child porn and also videos of me with crack, that's how you know shit's fake. I'm just saying, allegedly.
And that goes into the hands. He somehow can't find anybody. You can't throw a stone in Trolley Square without hitting someone that knows me personally.
Right.
And he knows
Right.
that. He's lived there his whole life.
Literally every single person knows who you are, and no one recognized you giving your laptop of hooker shit to the people. Again, it's unreal. The zero pushback is insane. Actually insane. Now, anyway, it gets even wilder. So Andrew Wilson, who, by the way, is finally going after Candace Owens now for destroying our party. Again, I'm a big fan of Andrew Wilson. This is what he had to say. This is fucking wild. When the hell did conservatives decide to give Hunter Biden a pass on everything? What is going on around here? If Andrew Wilson would have been paying attention to me, you would have been literally on the right side of history. Again, it says in Deuteronomy, obliterate the evil from within your ranks. You have to obliterate the evil among you. So when I'm calling out Tucker Carlson for his random shit, and everyone's like, listen, but he's a conservative and he's pushing for things, and why are you hating him just for being a rat fuck liar? Well, the answer is simple. Because if you keep giving this guy a pass, this is going to happen. All right? The same with Candace Owens. If she would have been obliterated for her again, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are both out there running defense for Andrew Tate. And they make believe they're conservative Christians, all right? They're both Catholic, conservative, Christian people that want conservative values. They are glazing Andrew Tate, alleged sex trafficker, literal, actual, factual pimp. All right. Like dog. And they love him. They love him so much. They give him the softball interviews of all time. All right. Like, again, it's everything with these people. And you have to acknowledge exactly what's going on. And again, I really wish people would have been there the entire time. And only now, when they're literally destroying the conservative movement from the inside, trying their best to divide us, to literally give the left a free victory, well, now they're a problem. Interesting how that happens. Now, don't forget, this was pretty wild. Tucker Carlson is literally in the Hunter Biden laptop. That's why he wants to lie and say it was a psyop by Israel. You can find the communications below in the Hunter Biden laptop, which prove the following. Why would Tucker Carlson, a so-called vocal critic of the establishment corruption, suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story, go out of his way to try to rehabilitate the image of Hunter Biden, a known criminal and drug addict? Below is what I posted word for word in 2005. The answer lies in the web of personal, financial, and strategic entanglements that bound into the Biden family and their network. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of Laura Loomer, but she does the work. All right. There are actual literal emails from the Hunter Biden laptop, not even exaggerating, with Tucker Carlson in it. This is like the equivalent of being in the Epstein files. Okay. Like, bro. Now, again, does that mean Tucker Carlson is a pedo protector? Interesting. Does that make him a pedo protector? That is so weird. Interesting. Now, Hunter Biden says the allegation of abuse material involving minors was made up. It was made up by Rudy Giuliani. All right. Pretty cool.
Remember what Rudy Giuliani did? He went to the literally the courthouse steps in Newcastle County.
Yeah.
With Bernie Carrick, and he held a laptop, which there's no existing laptop. He had taken a hard drive or a thumb drive and put it and pretended like there was a laptop.
Yeah, you mentioned that many times. Yes.
And the one thing he said was, "This contains images of minor children."
Oh my!
Which bullshit. I mean, an absolute, complete, and utter effing lie.
Can I just say one thing though? That this is what I experienced during that time. The allegation that there was abusive minors proven on the laptop, that came from the Israelis. I'm just telling you that. They came to me with that. So I know that.
He's like, Rudy Giuliani lied and said I had child porn on my laptop. Actually, the Jews lied and said you had child porn on your laptop. Like, they can't even get their story straight, man. This is a absolute clusterfuck.
And one of the things that enraged me about the statement from those sleazy intel guys is that they blame the Russians for it. Now,
I was so enraged when they blame Russians. I love Russia. I love Putin. I love the smell of bread in the Russian grocery stores. I love it. Why would Israel plant pictures of Hunter Biden in his underwear with underage people on that laptop? Why would they do that?
maybe the Russians had a hand in it, but it was the Israelis who were pushing that. Fact. I mean, literally.
Fact. Except there's no evidence at all. The Israelis who are from Israel with names. They have names, Jewish names, you should know. I'm not going to name them, but they're very Jewish names. It's like Shlomo. They're both named Shlomo, actually. Shlomo Eisenbergstein, for those of you that are unaware. Now, Hunter Biden had this to say, because they're going after the oligarch Epstein class. Now, again, let me remind you, and this is going to be a shock to you, Joe Biden, President of the United States, father of Hunter Biden, the guy that pardoned his son, after saying he wouldn't pardon his son. This is going to be crazy. He actually covered up the Epstein files for 4 years when he was president. And now they're going to talk about how Trump must be part of the Epstein class.
I don't disagree that there's an enormous failure of the of what I call the elite oligarch Epstein class of Washington.
By the way, anyone that uses the term Epstein class is trying to get views from Pakistan. I just want to make that clear, because that shit is gay.
In D.C.
Yes.
That you and I both know.
Very well.
Yes. And that have
yes.
That are
by the way, Thomas Massey said he was going to be naming names. Why is he not naming any names? Thomas Massey literally said he was naming names, but he's not naming names.
Is interested in protecting their corporate overlords.
Timu crack addict Bernie Sanders is here with foreign agent Tucker Carlson talking about how actually the oligarchs are the ones that are out there. Now, let me remind you, Tucker Carlson is a guy probably with $50 to $100 million. His father was a CIA agent. And his son works for the vice president of the United States. And he's very close friends with the vice president of the United States. Then you got Hunter Biden, son of a president of the United States. And these guys are like, oh, the elites are so bad. Oh, those elites, those gosh darn elites.
Yes. As they are in protecting anything. And I mean, just take like the issue of stock trading.
Yes! Bro, these people are like absolute dorks. It's crazy. And people are falling for this. Now, it's actually still on YouTube that you have this shit. From Fox News with Tucker Carlson, Hunter Biden laptop repairman tells all. Bro, how are we doing this? It's still on YouTube of you saying the exact opposite before you sold your soul to, I don't know, some guy that flew on a flying camel to heaven or whatever. Now, anyway, let's not forget this guy, all right, threatened by the FBI, swatted, had to close his shop, leave town due to death threats, okay? All right, let's not forget this laptop repairman guy that actually was like, yo, there's kiddie porn on this computer, allegedly, all right? This dude was out there. He was doing that. He got so much harassment from the leftoids, the very violent leftoids. Now, the reason why he's wearing this hat is to cover his yarmulke, probably, because now he is being smeared as an Israeli operative, ladies and gentlemen. Computer repairman at center of Hunter Biden scandal closes his store. He had to flee this country, the city. He had to literally leave. All right. De La Roca said he doesn't anticipate Mac McIsaac becoming entangled in a potential lawsuit with criminal investigation, but he said he spoke in recent weeks. He declined to describe the nature of conversations. He was absolutely terrified. Hunter Biden's laptop repairman, John Paul McIsaac, says FBI agent threatened him to hush up. So let's understand. The Jews that are controlling the government planted the laptop, and the Jews controlling the government silenced the guy who was the whistleblower for the laptop, and the Jews who control the media got the media to not report on the story that the Jews planted. Like, are we on the same page here? Like, are we all just trying to figure out exactly how this is operating? Like, we are, again, I don't think there's any other person on all of the internet that's actually doing coverage of this shit like I am. Because no one actually wants to beef with overlapping audiences. Now, there's a major fear on the internet of getting into drama with people where you share an audience because you're afraid that you're going to lose those viewers. I I'm at war with these people for a very long time. And again, I've gotten so much shit for it, obviously, and I understand why no one else wants to do it, but someone absolutely needs to. Demonetized or not. I am demonetized. Anyway, so this is Tucker Carlson, like a little compilation of Tucker Carlson just contradicting himself all the time between this interview on Hunter Biden in 2026 compared to a different interview about the Bidens in 2024.
But the story did not make sense. So I just want to ask you point blank, did you drop off laptops?
No. And this is the thing that I've said over and over again. I have literally zero recollection or memory of ever dropping off a laptop.
Crackhead doesn't remember.
No, the answer is no.
And you've written about this for several years now, pretty conclusively, I would say. You had an amazing book on Hunter Biden's laptop, which sort of substantiates a lot of what you're saying.
John Paul MacIsaac, who was, I think you've interviewed him, the laptop repair shop owner who had the laptop that Hunter had abandoned at his shop.
When we have shown Hunter's consent, everyone knows Hunter consented.
But the reality is this. Of what was distributed that was authentic, not a single one of them in which I say, hey, when my dad is in office or in power as vice president or president, in which I say,
that's really
hey,
awkward, man.
Dad, I need you to do this for me.
And yet we had on the front page an email from Hunter's Ukrainian sort of paymaster from that company Burisma, who had thanked Hunter for introducing him to his father in Washington, D.C.
Like, not only is Hunter Biden a lying whore, which is obvious, because, I mean, let's be real here. He's covering his ass. He was committing a shit ton of crimes, allegedly, even got pardoned. It's Tucker Carlson that's just letting him get away with this shit. That's insane.
Then sitting vice president, Hunter organized that for his father, the vice president, in a private room to meet with his Ukrainian business partners, plus Russian, plus Kazakhstanis. He did a 3-for-1 deal in April of 2015. But he just has to show up and be charming and be the vice president for all the money to flow into Hunter's pockets.
The of what I call the elite,
the oligarchs.
Oligarch,
the
Epstein class of Washington, D.C.
Yes.
That are as interested in protecting their corporate overlords as they are in protecting anything. My dad in 1972 took a vow that he would never own a stock or a bond. He retired from the presidency as having probably the lowest net worth of anyone that had ever entered the presidency.
I always wondered, how did he afford to live in a 12,000 square foot house on a Senate salary?
Well, he will tell you he was just lucky with real estate. He's just the donors, you know. Like they'd buy his houses for an inflated cost, and he'd buy houses.
By the way, notice the zero Tucker pushback on this one. Right? Tucker Carlson let this dude get away with saying that Joe Biden was the least corrupt president ever. Do you understand? Tucker Carlson, alleged conservative, let this bitch get away with saying that Joe Biden was the least corrupt president. Now, there's only one president in the history of the United States of America that lost money over the course of his presidency, and that was Donald J. Trump in his first term. He ended his first term with less money than he started. Now he's raking in billions. I think people are doing scams on his behalf a lot, and I think it's really scummy. I'm not gonna lie, the crypto shit's disgusting. I'm not gonna like defend it or anything, but in his first term, he lost money. Biden made millions. All right, so but he only made a few millions.
For lower cost. Same with Hunter. Hunter bought places, same thing, and there was just a magic carpet ride for him. Whatever transaction that he entered into, he was looked after. Hunter's sort of businesses worked, that Joe would get something. Hunter was certainly paying for some of Joe's maintenance and upkeep on his Delaware estate. And Joe lives...
An estate is not too strong. It was a former DuPont house, enormous house that Hunter grew up in.
Yes,
and
with the ballroom.
Yeah. And then...
well, how did that happen?
I know from having
weird
friends and relatives in that town, Greenville, Delaware, that he never paid any of the workmen.
No.
You know, Stiff the firewood guy and the landscaper and the caterer, and, you know, they're always after him for money. Really screwed the little guy consistently and was famous in the neighborhood for doing that.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is incredible.
It's incredible that you don't bring this up to Hunter Biden.
The entire narrative of the Biden crime family. I mean, I literally, unlike anybody else, is like, I say to everybody, okay, show me your phone because I showed you mine. and you didn't find a goddamn thing.
But I think there's a
It was literally full of drugs and prostitutes and allegedly child porn. I'm clean. I'm clean, man. So clean. Don't remember any crimes. Might be the crack.
enough
Might be the Xanax.
on
Don't
the
know.
public record, a lot of evidence to show that Joe Biden was involved in the family's influence peddling scheme, that this is where the money went. It is part of a pattern of money, the money trail, and how it gets to the Biden family. 10% for the big guy.
And a
Yep.
family that I love, drives me crazy. I love. It's like everybody else,
Wow. That's beautiful.
but I don't have to live a lie.
Wow.
Hunter Biden,
Wow.
thank you very much.
Hunter Biden. Thank you, Hunter Biden. Man. That's beautiful. You want to have sex? Anyway, so it turns out even Nick Fuentes, right, bro, they've lost Nick Fuentes. The anti-Semite community has lost the top goy. It's brutal. I'm kidding, obviously. We all know Nick Fuentes is a Jewish asset. They've lost him.
Tucker interviewed Hunter Biden and they discussed whether the Hunter laptop story was an Israeli hoax. The slop is reaching critical mass at this point. I can't take it anymore.
It's
Boss,
so bad.
crying face emoji.
Corporations want to divide us. The billionaire Epstein class wants to divide us. Israel gave the laptop. It's like, oh my gosh. And why is Tucker talking to the Israelis? Tucker goes, oh, I knew that. The Israelis. Why are you talking to the Israelis? Why are you always talking to them?
Mundaline. Tucker.
Yeah, it's almost like he's not talking to them and he's lying. That's crazy. Anyway, now I heard someone say money trail, and my gigantic sniffer immediately perked up. All right, we're here, boys. So again, the point that I'm trying to make is it's brutal out here, and I feel so bad for the real anti-Semites, like the genuine, the ones that are the patriot, the anti-Semitic patriots out there. And they just have to deal with this absolute slop. It's miserable. Absolutely miserable. Now, Thomas Massey, friend of Tucker Carlson, is calling for the censorship on Twitter because Eyal Yacobi is a Twitter account that monitors the Gaza conflict and talks about Hamas all the time. And it's like, oh my God, he posted about Hamas 7,000 times. Quickly, you must ban him. I love X. X is my favorite platform. So block him or mute him. Why are, like, Thomas Massey calling for Elon Musk to censor a random guy that's reporting on the Hamas conflict? What are we even doing here? Like, this is great. Libertarian, right? Libertarian calls for censorship. Like, dude, these people are such frauds. Now, it's so sad because the entire right is getting absolutely one-shot by this. Now, I personally don't like AIPAC. I think AIPAC does not actually fight for the benefit of our nation. It has its own agenda, which I'm not a fan of necessarily. And they fund everybody as long as those people will help them on their personal agenda. I am a very conservative person that thinks the left needs to be absolutely abolished and destroyed in every possible way ever. And the reality is, this meme destroyed that entire organization. It's like AIPAC is like, actually, are you really gonna vote for John America? He was given money from AIPAC. You should reject foreign influence and vote for Mohammed ibn Mohammed Mahmoud. All right, and instead, that guy is clean. He got no money from AIPAC. All right, W. Anyway, and that's why Tucker Carlson has just endorsed Abdul El Sayed for Senate. He endorsed that guy because at least he's not a foreign agent. Excuse me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro, you think that Abdul Mohammed El Sayed is not a foreign agent? But John America, who got $12 from AIPAC, is actually just owned by the Jews? Like, bro, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. And it's miserable. This entire community of dumbasses, right, and their theories, it is existing to destroy the right. It is a foreign operation. Everyone has to know that it's happening. And I urge everyone that's out there being like, I don't understand why this is happening. Start understanding why this is happening. Obliterate the evil from within your ranks. It's a quote from Deuteronomy. So whether they are a threat right now or not really a threat right now, so why should we engage with it? They need to be destroyed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Really glad Andrew Wilson is going after Candace Owens. Really glad that people are starting to actually wake up. You got people like Steven Crowder, who's also been really good about this whole thing, as far as I've seen. But for the most part, no one wants to touch this shit because you are cowards. You're out here being like, we have to fight. We need a revolution. We need to have radical change. We need to take to the streets. And you're too scared to call out these bum-ass bitches in our ranks. You don't want to lead a revolution. You want a LARP, and I have no patience for LARPers, you goddamn pussies. Not specifically talking about Andrew Wilson, even though he's on screen right now. You just, I guess, didn't realize the Tucker Carlson thing. But you should have, actually. I don't actually care if you support Israel or don't support Israel or any of these things, but like if you're like blaming the Jews for inventing dinosaurs and say that Stalin was Jewish, like Candace Owens was saying, and that the Jews invented space, and that the Jews are trying to assassinate Trump and blame it on Iran, and that the Jews are controlling our government, like, bro, if you're doing that shit, you are a foreign operative, whether you know it or not, whether you're a grifter or not. You are a grifter. Actually, I changed my mind. You're a grifter, and you need to be destroyed. And I'm here to help. So demonetized on YouTube or not, I'm going to continue doing my part. Thank you for your support everywhere. It helps me be able to continue doing it. But we got a lot more idiots to talk about. The ride doesn't end here. Now, apparently, Ben Shapiro, EDP445's favorite YouTuber, made the entire world mad. So apparently the Daily Wire just released this movie. A lot of people are saying it's really good, actually. I didn't watch it. But apparently they released a movie about a vigilante fighting against Muslims. How did they get that idea? Now, anyway, it made the Islamos very upset. It made like the Tucker Carlsons and the Candace Owens is very mad also, because they are currently on their literal pee-pee sucking extravaganza Islamoid arc of their life, I guess. Listen, man, you gotta respect them appreciating a new lifestyle. So that's them. They're in woke too, as we would call it. And the Muslims are very mad also. The Sneakos and the Hasans are obviously also very upset about this. So again, I don't really care about movies, but I really like seeing the worst people ever angry. All right, Shabibo, take it away. Definitely subscribe so we can surpass Ben Shabibo and become top Jew.
So we made a kick-ass movie about Islamic terrorism, and the terror-supporting left then called us Islamophobic. Honestly, we could not get a better endorsement for the film.
That's fair.
One Night Fight
He's
Infidels
right.
is literally about ISIS taking over a college campus. So when a left-wing terror hugger like Mehdi Hasan says that the movie generates hatred for Islam, I mean, you're kind of I don't know. It seems like a good idea to be phobic of Islamic terrorism.
I mean, yeah,
I think we should
right,
be concerned
true.
about ISIS. They're the bad guys. Everybody should know exactly who they are and what they do.
Bro, I really I understand they're probably trying to make it serious, but like if dude would have walked into like the college and Durga, Muhammad Jihad, and they would have obliterated them, it would have been amazing. Durga, Muhammad Jihad just goes around. But no, they probably went all gritty and real.
If people are pissed at the trailer, just wait until they see the
I love
film.
how he's like, Islamophobia is actually really good in certain instances. When Islamophobia is actually just always kind of good, in my opinion, actually. My hot take is, if you have a people whose ideology is they want to kill you, then maybe you should be worried about that. You know, like, I don't want to be that guy, but isn't that like, obvious? Isn't that a little bit obvious? Like, why is this a controversial take? Like, I am doing deep dives on the Quran on my Patreon every week, and every week it gets worse. All right, literally. Again, fully demonetized on YouTube, but I appreciate the support on Patreon, so I started that series, and it was incredible. All right, someone just sent me this clip. Wait, is this real?
Fuck, that's enough. You already fucked. That's enough said. On to my motherfucking main nigga, Ben Shapiro. Listen to him, and you'll be great in life.
Bro, imagine getting an endorsement from the fattest pedophile of all time.
Sneeko, guy is cool as...
It doesn't stop there. Bro! It's actually a nightmare list. Wait, all right, so who do we got? We got Andrew and Tristan Tate, Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, Fresh and Fit, Pearl, Sneeko, and Ben Shapiro. Bro. That is wild. Oh, my God. All right, anyway, that's crazy.
So Infidels is basically a sort of 1980s, 1990s style action flick, toy soldiers, Red Dawn style major action movie starring Jonathan Majors about an ISIS takeover of an American lib university.
I love how Muslims have somehow gotten into their heads that it's Islamophobic to be against Islamic terrorism. It's like, you're Islamophobic because you don't like when Muslims blow shit up. And it's like, no, actually, I just don't like when Muslims, like, what do you want?
It's exciting. It's intense. It's funny. It's the biggest movie we've ever done. If you missed the trailer yesterday,
right.
Here it is again, so you understand what we're talking about when we get to the critique.
Let's go.
Your country is beneath contempt. We who love and serve Allah fought back against the Americans and the Zionists from the scourge of secularism and the lands of unbelief.
Oh, shit. This actually looks good. Wait, hold up. What?
Anyone gonna listen to Captain Saunders tomorrow? The retired Delta Force soldier with a new book out.
He's the polar opposite of those brain-dead protesters.
Given the current climate, should Clay Saunders even be allowed on campus? Mr. Saunders is a close personal friend of Chancellor Friedman. This is a decision I cannot fight.
There are 3 ways Islam will conquer the West.
Oh, damn.
Through immigration, through the wombs of our women, and by using our nation's freedoms against us.
I mean, literally true? What? Literally true. Where's the lie? I mean, I see why they're mad about this, because this is literally just exposing the battle plan. That's why they're angry. Like, I love how Muslims are like, it's Islamophobic to be against Islamic terrorism. Like, are you, like, hearing yourself?
Are you paying attention?
Listen carefully.
I love how Hollywood could make 1 billion movies about corrupt priests and white people terrorists. 1 billion of those, no problem. All right, one movie about an Islamic terrorist, and everyone's like, you're Islamophobic.
The great Satan, America.
They literally say that. Like, this isn't even a caricature. They literally say that.
You are infidels. The bodies of women are not.
They literally did this in a movie, in a Lady Gaga concert or whatever in England. Like, this is not far-fetched.
Pure, and men's souls are unclean.
What makes them so dangerous? Their goals are not in this life, but the next.
Whoa! Or Ariana Grande concert, whatever.
I got friends here. I can't just leave. Listen to me. In the law.
Oh, the way they killed the blue-haired woman that voted to bring them in. I fear this might be a banger.
We cannot run or hide from what is coming. We have to fight.
I will be rewarded 10,000 times in the next life. When you die, you're nothing. Only one way to find out.
That's the American way.
God damn! Infidels. September 16th. Holy
Okay, so
shit.
first off, I should say the movie is awesome. It's awesome. Okay, I know. And by the way, if you don't believe me that it's awesome, you should go watch Run, Hide, Fight, like the first Run, Hide, Fight, right? Because this exists in the Run, Hide, Fight universe, Infidels. And the first Run, Hide, Fight is available right now over at Daily Wire, and you should check it out. It is one of our most viewed pieces of content, literally ever, because it's great. It's about a girl and her friends trying to fight back against a school shooter. It's fantastic. Go check it out. Run, Hide, Fight. Same director, same writer. Okay, so that's as far as the quality, it kicks ass. It's great. It is better than the
People in my
first
chat
one.
are saying it's good.
Okay, but let's get to the blowback, because the blowback is so telling. So,
Dude, I love this
Mehdi
so
Hasan
much.
did what
I love it so much when they tell on themselves. It's like, I personally think that Islamic terrorism is bad. And then they call you an Islamophobe. It's like, okay, so basically you are saying that Islam is just a terror movement, right? If saying that Islamic terrorists are bad and you think that's Islamophobic, then that means you view Islam as a terror movement. Like, that's the math.
you would expect. Mehdi Hasan, an import from Al Jazeera and a spokesperson for Qatar, it's difficult to come up with a more bigoted, Islamophobic, and cliched trailer than this one.
It's Islamophobic when Muslims do terrorism, I guess.
Okay, so I have a question. Why is it Islamophobic to point out what ISIS actually does and says? It turns out that he's going to have to explain to
It's because he supports it, actually. That's literally what their movement is. It's literally an entire ground game to normalize Islamic terrorism.
me how an Islamic terror group that is literally doing everything that is done in the movie is done by Islamic terror groups all over the world.
Dude, I'm so happy the Daily Wire didn't make this like a wild caricature of Islam and is literally just doing exactly what they talk about doing and do. All right? And all these guys freak the shit out. It's such a fantastic way to flip the script on these guys.
Why is depicting those people on screen Islamophobic? He's going to explain how that actually...
Dude, they say that... Okay, Hasan Piker said that America deserved 9/11. And then Hasan Piker decided to collaborate with a whole bunch of Muslim guys running for government in the United States. Every single time it was brought up to one of those Muslim guys, it's like, you collabed with Hasan Piker, said America deserved 9/11. Hasan said they're Islamophobic. That's why they're bringing it up. If you notice that Muslims killed 3,000 people on 9/11, then you're Islamophobic. That's literally how this works. All right, they will use your freedoms against you. And unfortunately for them, it's really not working anymore. All right, they're doing everything in their power to shut you down. Well, they'll call you racist. They'll call you white supremacist. They'll call you a bigot. They won't call you a liar, and we will destroy them.
Actually implicates all of Islam. Does it? I mean, if it does, then maybe Mehdi should explain. Why is it Islamophobic to literally just quote ISIS doing ISIS things? I don't like ISIS doing ISIS things. I think it's bad. And so therefore, I'm very much in favor of movies that paint ISIS as the bad guys. Why that is remotely controversial
right.
or hiding behind the rubric of Islamophobia is bizarro world. Bizarro world. Bigoted. Why is
It's actually not. It's because he supports Islamic terrorists, so therefore he thinks that you calling them out is bad because he supports them. So he's trying to use the leftoid strategy of just shutting you up by calling you names. I hope you are aware.
that bigoted? See, why is it bigoted to say, it's bad that ISIS does ISIS stuff and wants to murder Americans and would love to set up a caliphate here in the United States if they could? Why is any of that, quote unquote, Islamophobic? Why are you hiding behind a nonsense word? Why are you doing that? And then he says, also, Hollywood has refused to tell the story of radical Islam. Is Shapiro insane or just gaslighting? Muslims have been the main villains in Hollywood for decades, even predating 9/11. That's just horseshit. It's not true. I mean, seriously.
He's right.
You could probably count on one hand the number of movies, major movies, where Muslims are the villains.
Well, Thanos was obviously a Muslim. Obviously, like we all saw when he said "Durka Durka Muhammad Jihad" and then snapped and then suicide bombed half the planet. You know what I'm saying? So that's obviously Iron Man, literally. Well, that's literally Muslims. So that's another one. So that's another classic example of Muslims. We also have the aliens from Avatar. We have the Fire Nation from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Obviously, Muslims. Obviously.
And in fact, Hollywood routinely changed.
King Joffrey, obviously, an incest baby, a reference to whatever culture has a lot of incest babies. I'm not going to mention any because I can't think of any, but if it does come to me that there is a kind of culture that produces tons of incest babies, I will bring it up. Obviously, the orcs from Lord of the Rings. Okay, all right, anyway.
Muslims from being the villains of films, like over and over. Most famously, there was a Ben Affleck movie that was rooted in an action novel by the same guy who did Hunt for Red October. It was a Jack Ryan movie called The Sum of All Fears. And The Sum of All Fears was supposed to be about Palestinian terrorists. In the book it is. They changed it to Russians. That sort of stuff happens all the time in Hollywood. All the time. Hollywood is constantly doing movies about the neo-Nazis, about the radical Russians.
He's right.
Even the North Koreans. They'll stay away from the Chinese because there's too much of a Chinese movie market. But they have really stayed away from ever since 9/11. I'm old enough to remember when the show 24 literally had to deploy Kiefer Sutherland to apologize publicly for possible Islamophobia in the show because there was a season about the counterterrorism unit, which is what 24 was about. Great show. In which Muslims were the bad guys. And it turns out, by the way, even the Muslims were working for some sort of cross-national corporate organization or something. Because that's how Hollywood always has to play it. So, like a balls-out depiction of exactly what ISIS does, I'm not sure how that's Islamophobic. And if you think it is, you're telling on yourself. Because I think we should be phobic of ISIS. They're the bad guys. I mean, I think that it is good that the American people know who their enemies are and what those people think and what they say and what they do. And Kyle's script definitely does that. It definitely, I mean, again, the trailer is just the tip of the iceberg. If they're pissed off at the trailer, wait until they see the film.
All right.
Again, I don't understand why it is incredible to me. People are upset because the movie is anti-ISIS. First, here's a challenge.
That's because they're pro-ISIS. I love how Ben Shapiro's like, it is fantastic. It's fascinating to watch them make a complete and utter philosophical and logical lapse in their judgment when they claim Islamophobia. They don't actually recognize what they are criticizing is us depicting ISIS doing what ISIS does. They are therefore making a logical incongruence with their actual analysis. And I'm out here like, they love terrorism, and they're really mad that you're calling them out. They love terrorism, and therefore they're offended. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's like, yeah, that's why they're upset. Duh.
Next time you're at the grocery store or the supplement aisle, pick up a product and then read the ingredient list. If you need a chemistry degree to figure out what it is that they want you to eat, maybe that's telling you something. One of the things I like most about Balance of Nature is
this video is sponsored by good, healthy food. Anyway, back to Muslims.
he sympathizes with ISIS. Like, for example, the idiot streamer Sneeko. He put out a tweet, the Kufar are getting so desperate they're trying to do Bush-era propaganda.
I love Sneeko.
In 2026.
He's my favorite guy now.
No one cares anymore. We all know the Israelis are the real terrorists. Now, I would just like to point out at this point, the root of Kufar is also kafir, which is infidels. So he's literally calling people infidels. In that tweet, he's calling people infidels, saying the infidels are desperate.
Oh my
the infidels.
God, bro. It's
and by the way,
diabolical. No, it's so funny also because like this is a clip from Sneeko today. Sneeko got an eye exam and found out that he has mites defecating in his eyes, and he got infections after visiting Haiti and Mecca. Isn't that incredible?
See that? Where do you have age in my eyes? Now you're making things up. Okay. Look at my ear. You have blepharitis. Blepharitis is a very common condition that is on the eyelashes themselves.
I love how he literally goes, he travels to third world countries, he's like, Inshallah, this will be America. Inshallah, comes back literally as eye worms, blames the Jews. It's literally my favorite arc ever. Now, but again, Sneeko is the guy that denies the 250 British girls that were R-worded by M-words, by the way, for those of you that are unaware. And essentially, what we're dealing with is basically, all of EDP 445's heroes are beefing with each other. All right, we got Andrew Chisholm-Chait in jail. You got Sneeko hating Trump and Ben Shapiro. All right, Myron hating Trump and Ben Shapiro hating Fresh and Fit and Sneeko. It's literally a civil war between all of EDP 445's besties.
Sneeko says you should be afraid of the Juden, of course. Yeah, he was literally chanting Nazi propaganda. Now this is the same guy who openly says, quote, "Congrats to Abdul El-Sayed, the first Muslim to win a primary for the U.S. Senate. Islam will save America, inshallah." I don't know. I feel like maybe we should be a little concerned. Sneeko, the guy who's telling you should not worry about Islam, literally goes out on the streets of New York and chants that Islam is about to take over America. And we're supposed to just pretend this is not a thing that is happening here in the United States, or that it is totally crazy to make a movie.
They are telling on themselves, man. The funniest thing is, like, Operation Let Them Speak keeps working.
In which the ISIS aligned and their sympathizers are the bad guys? I don't know. I kind of feel like they're the bad guys. And as for the notion that ISIS is just not a threat in America, yeah, they kind of are, actually. In fact, ISIS remains the chief threat of terrorism worldwide today. According to the Global Terrorism Index, 20% of all terrorist groups, of all terrorist attacks on planet Earth are attributable to ISIS right now. And, of course, we've seen a multiplicity.
Imagine Sneeko being such a dumbass that he's handing Ben Shapiro W's. Can you believe this?
Of radical Islamic attacks in the United States, not including 9/11, which killed 3,000 people and injured 6,000. We're all supposed to pretend that never happened. It is insane to me that we as a country have decided that September 11th is totally irrelevant. And in the city where 3,000 people were murdered by radical Muslims, the city of New York decided to make its mayor a person who is sympathetic to radical Islam. It's insane. It is totally crazy. But this is where
this is why Ben Shapiro is going to get overtaken as top Jew. He's still calling it radical Islam. That's how you know he's not there yet.
We are, and that is indeed a threat. But, just take the last decade and a half or so. The 2009 Fort Hood shooting, 13 killed, 30 injured. The 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, 3 killed, 260 plus injured. The 2014 Queens hatchet attack, 2 NYPD officers injured. The 2015 Chattanooga Military Recruitment Center shooting, 5 killed.
It is so cute that he's still doing this.
2 injured. 2015 San Bernardino attack, 14 killed, 22 injured. The 2016 Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, 49 killed, 53 injured. 2016 New York City, New Jersey bombings, 31 injured. 2016 Ohio State University attacks, 11 injured. 2019 Pensacola Naval Air Station shooting, 3 killed, 8 injured. 2020 Corpus Christi base attack, 1 injured. 2025 New Orleans Bourbon Street attack. That was the one where the truck actually had an ISIS flag on the back of it. 14 killed, 57 plus injured. See, so here's the thing.
I mean, there was literally guys screaming Allahu Akbar that stabbed 2 French people yesterday. I covered that. We may never know their motive. There were over 75,000 Islamic terror attacks since 9/11, by the way, for those of you that are unaware. I think it's like 72,000 since 9/11. Did you know that the 50 most dangerous countries for Christians are all Muslim countries? Isn't that weird?
I don't know. I feel like we should be concerned about ISIS and all the people who are willing to defend ISIS by just shouting Islamophobia. We should be concerned about those people. We should. We should be talking about the threat of radical Islam. How do I know that? Well, I mean, one reason is we will probably have to spend millions of dollars as a company on security because we're making a movie depicting radical Muslim terrorists as radical Muslim terrorists. Now, I can tell you this. If we made a movie about Christian nationalists and how evil they are, we would not have to up our security. We would not.
True. He's right.
But if I literally took out a piece of paper right now and drew a stick figure and wrote the word Muhammad with an arrow to it, I would have to up my security radically. That says something about an ideology, does it?
I mean, my favorite thing is when in Oxford, there was this Muslim lady in Oxford. It's like, you are an Islamophobe, but you're lucky we're not killing you here where you stand. You called us violent? How dare you? I can kill you now. And it's like, lady.
Not. Here's the thing. If I have nothing to fear from devotees of an ideology, then I really shouldn't have to worry about people being murdered because I speak about that ideology. And Salman Rushdie writes a book 30 years ago, and the Iranians put a fatwa on him, and he's stabbed in the eye 30 years later. And unfortunately, when you scratch beneath the surface of the Islamic communities across the West, it turns out there are an awful lot of people who believe awfully radical things. For example, just 2 years ago, a Henry Jackson Society poll of British Muslims found that 52% of them, a majority, believed it should be illegal to draw Muhammad.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Yeah.
You should be legally punished for drawing Muhammad. That same poll found that British Muslims are...
I love he's like expressing polls, and he's like, it turns out Muslims believe in their religion. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy that the religion that literally states you should be killing infidels and murdering people that draw pictures of Muhammad and doing stuff like that and conquer the world and stuff like that? Can you believe that the people that believe their religion actually believe their religion? Holy smokes, boys.
More likely to have a positive than a negative
Mind-blowing.
view of Hamas. And by the way, a lot of that sentiment is shared across the pond here in the United States. A Pew poll from just a couple of months ago found that 44% of American Muslims expressed favorable views of the terrorist group Hamas. 44%.
Yeah, those are the religious ones. The other 56% are the not very religious ones.
And there's a reason that Abdul El-Sayed won 90% of Dearborn, the same city where Jake Lang was getting
94%.
the crap kicked out of him the other day.
Now, by the way, interestingly enough, he also endorsed a Hezbollah terror attack in Michigan. All right, there was a Hezbollah terrorist that drove a car into a Jewish preschool and blew it up and died. And thank God no one was killed. I think a security guard was killed. And they told that to Abdul El-Sayed, and he's like, "Listen, hurt people. His brothers were Hezbollah. They were hurt by Israel." And it's like, holy shit, man! This guy blew up a preschool in Michigan. Yeah. Anyway.
And it turns out there are a lot of Muslims in the West who are willing to morally equivocate about radical Islamic terrorism and violence and then shout Islamophobia the minute you notice it. And there are a bunch of leftists who are willing not only to fellow travel with it, but are willing to ingest it, imbibe it, make it part of their program. That's the story of Run, Hide, Fight Infidels, but it also happens to be the story of America right now. We're watching it happen in real time, in our politics. What an amazing video.
Ultimately, I do think that it is a relevant topic. I think it is good to talk about it. I think the movie probably will be pretty good. And it's fantastic watching these people telling themselves and getting super mad about it. It really is. Just fantastic stuff all around. W. Ben Shapibo. What can I say? EDP445's favorite YouTuber strikes again, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute cinema. I think Ben Shapiro cares about the browning of America now, boys. A little too late, but I think he's there. Dude, he's not radical enough, by the way. Like he quotes his facts and he's like all cute and stuff. But nah, dude, he's not nearly radical enough. Definitely subscribe so we can surpass Ben Shapiro and become top Jew. It turns out that the people that believe in a religion that calls for them to do things, and then they do the things that the religion calls for them to do, actually, it might be the ideology that's a little bit of a problem or something. I love how he always needs to like cushion his phrases with like, some people are radical. Some people even view these radical people and yeah. Yeah, I wonder what causes that. I wonder what the major influence of Islamism is, guys. Oy vey, it looks like there's trouble in paradise. All these people are, it's falling apart for literally everyone. And more on that tomorrow. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. I really appreciate it. You guys are incredible. This was streamed on Kick and it was streamed on Rumble. If you could support me on those platforms, that would be awesome. I'm fully demonetized on YouTube. As you know, I'm uploading videos on Patreon, about 3 to 4 videos a week there, including Adventure Time. Every week we're doing Quran analysis as well as deep dives into moral issues that I cannot discuss on YouTube. So all your support means the world to me. If you could support me on Rumble Wallet, that would be fantastic. Once again, you go to the link in the description to Rumble Wallet. That would be awesome. Nux10 will get you $10 of free shit over there. Thank you so much. You people are incredible. I don't even know what to say. I'm just super touched and honored that I'm able to keep making content despite the fact that literally I make no income from YouTube now, which was my main income forever. In fact, if you combine all of what I'm making from all the different platforms and sponsors and Patreon, everything, it's still less than half of what I was making on YouTube. But I'm going to keep grinding. Don't you worry. Because, unfortunately, no one else is willing to say this shit. So we're going to still never stop the grind. The cripple fight continues tomorrow. And we ain't stopping, boys. This video is sponsored by you brave heterosexuals out there. Because my channels are fully demonetized by YouTube because they have an aversion and allergy to honesty. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon. It's linked in my description. And it is literally my source of income right now. I post exclusive content there like Adventure Time analyses and other things that you request. I am also uploading videos to Rumble, uncensored, and I stream almost every day on Kick. Subscribe so we can surpass Ben Shapiro and become top Jew.